Wow, that was definitely something. Be sure to leave the advanced scooter tricks to Josiah, even though he's still in pain.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey guys, this is Michael, and this time I'm not an Italian chef. And this isn't Cooking Cast, this is Review Cast. Are you more of a Frodo, or are you more of a Boromir? We'll find out with Isaiah as he reviews his top 4 fantasy book series.
Reading fantasy has always allowed me to relax and experience incredible stories through the eyes of inspiring and relatable characters. I've read quite a few fantasy series over my lifetime, but 4 in particular separate from the rest in my mind. Without further ado, here are my top 4 favorite fantasy book series of all time. Fourth on this list is The Chronicles of Prydain by Lloyd Alexander. This series follows Taran, an assistant pig keeper who goes on extraordinary adventures and meets many charming characters along the way. The series details his character growth from a headstrong, impulsive youth to a brave and heroic leader by the end of the series. The side characters really complete the series though. Faithful Gurgi, wise Gwydion, and spunky Eilonwy are all wonderful, but my personal favorite is Fflewddur Fflam, whose heartstrings break whenever he stretches the truth just a little too far. There are 5 books in these series, ranging from 200 to 300 pages in length. And if you prefer listening to audiobooks, James Langton does a fantastic job in his narration of the series. Next up is Artemis Fowl, an 8-book series by Eoin Colfer. The series opens with Artemis Fowl, a 12-year-old criminal mastermind who brilliantly devises a plot to relieve the hidden fairy population of a sizable portion of their gold. I was instantly hooked after starting this first book. It was very satisfying to watch Artemis and his loyal bodyguard Butler repeatedly outsmart and outmaneuver the fairy population and remain 2 steps ahead of them throughout the book. The humor in the series is also truly marvelous. Foley the Centaur and Julius Root the Fairy provide excellent comic relief, and they're both tremendous characters as well. Second on this list is The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. If there was one word I could use to describe this series, it would be depth. For one thing, each tome is massive, easily surpassing 1,000 pages in length. For another, Sanderson is an excellent world builder. The world he crafts is so immersive and fascinating, it just draws you into the story and does not let go. His characters are also nuanced and interesting. Each one has unique motivations that make sense given their personalities, their temperaments, and their unique situations. Kaladin and Dalinar are 2 of my favorite characters by far. In the first book, Kaladin is thrown into a bridge crew to serve as cannon fodder for a brutal Alethi High Prince. His struggle to unite the hopeless and despondent men of Bridge 4 to fight for their freedom and have hope again is so compelling. And with Dalinar, he is so focused on following the Alethi codes of war. He's a bastion of honor that does not compromise his beliefs, even when that would be easier. Finally, my favorite book series of all time is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien's prose is sweeping, eloquent, grandiose, and beautiful to read. I've never encountered anything like it from other authors. His character work is also superb. Faramir is an excellent example of humility. Éowyn learns to overcome her fatalism and begins to love making things grow. Samwise is the embodiment of loyalty. He sticks with Frodo through his struggles. He constantly picks him back up. He looks at the end goal and he strives to meet it. He does not give up. Also, Tolkien's lore and world are incredibly complex and endlessly rewarding for those wishing to delve into those complexities. Tolkien even created entire languages for The Lord of the Rings. I highly encourage you to read this phenomenal book series. Well, those are my top 4 favorite fantasy book series of all time. Farewell, and may the blessing of elves and men and all free folk go with you.
I'm definitely more of a Boromir myself.
Have you even read The Lord of the Rings, Michael?
No, but I still feel like I'm more of a Boromir. Anyway, we'll be right back after this important message.
Hey, are you okay?
Wow, that was intense. I'll definitely ask for help when I need it. Next up is a review on the new HBO series, The Penguin.
Hi, Mr. Cast viewers. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a quick TV show review of HBO's new series, The Penguin. So this is a direct continuation of The Batman, the 2022 film, which, by the way, I'm a massive fan of that as well. And in the Batman, Carmine Falcone is like the head of the Falcone crime family or whatever, and he's killed. So in The Penguin, his daughter and his son are there. There's another crime family called the Maronis, and Oz is kind of playing both sides, and we see this sort of power struggle for control of crime. I think that some of the great things about it is the character work, like the new characters it's introduced. One being Victor. The way he comes into working with Oz is really funny, and it's really sort of ironic, and you would never expect him to become a part of his team the way it happens, but their dynamic is really one of my favorite parts of the show. And then the relationship with his mother that is expanded on in the series that kind of humanizes him as a character, as he's a criminal, he's a bad guy, there's no denying that, but the show does a good job of at least making you empathize a little bit and understand sort of why he is the way he is, and just develops his character as the show goes on. As a fan of Batman all my life and a fan of comic book characters, I think the world of Gotham that they're building up between the film in 2022 and now this series continuing it, I think it's the best adaptation of Gotham City we have, sort of how the rich and powerful are kind of, they live over here, and then the poor and downtrodden are kind of living in terror, as well as the effects in the end of the Batman film where the Riddler kind of sets off those bombs and floods the city. Yeah, the characters are introducing. Sophia Falcone, amazing character. Victor, like I said earlier, and then the Penguin himself is expanded on, and his character is just so much better than it even was in the movie a couple of years ago, and he was great in that as well. The acting, I think Colin Farrell gives an amazing performance. It's well made, it looks great. And if you're a fan of Batman, if you're a fan of comic books, if you liked The Batman, the film from 2022, I think this is a must-see. There's, I think, 2 episodes to go, coming out weekly on HBO Max. And I'm loving it so far. I can't wait to see how it concludes and how it's going to keep tying into the future projects in this universe. And I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10 or so, and would highly recommend it.
Wow, that was an excellent review. I can't believe how good that show was. I can't wait to watch it. We need to get this one to the big man. Now, after hearing about the gritty streets of Gotham, prepare for a brief public service announcement from our pal, Isaiah. We'll be right back.
Sesquipedalians are truly beautiful and dear to me. Lamentably, their use is often antiquated drudgery. Though used with tact, they properly convey a perspicacity, but other times they only lead to monumental errancy. So now disperse, pontificate, and find yourself a dictionary.
My vocabulary has expanded immensely. I was positively pusillanimous while watching Alien Romulus. Please enjoy my pontifications on this semi-legendary film. Alien Romulus is a film written and directed by Fede Alvarez, and I hope I said it right, Fede. Anyways, it's written and directed by Fede Alvarez, and it's the latest installment into Ridley Scott's Alien franchise. Now, I was a little late to the party on this one. I waited too long to see it in the theaters, so I ended up just buying it on Amazon Prime. So I went into this with already high expectations. It blew those expectations out of the water. I loved this movie. If you have never seen an Alien movie, you'd still love this movie. If you love horror movies, I feel like that's a given. Now, the lead of this movie is Cailee Spaeny. She did great. She plays Rain, and she and her friends who are down on their luck decide that they're going to go to this spaceship that's just floating out in space, just outside the atmosphere on whatever planet they were on, and take a risk and try to steal whatever resources they can to make money and go to a better planet. Who steals the show for me is David Johnson as Andy. He was phenomenal. I mean, I can't give away his performance without spoiling the movie, really, but it was great. I thought he stole the show. Now, they both played very well off of each other, but they did a great job casting, and so you have Cailee Spaeny and David Johnson, and they both do phenomenal. Everybody else in the movie who was more of a supporting actor did a solid job. I thought everybody else did well. I didn't think that there was any standout issues I had with any of the supporting roles. The dialogue was very good. I liked it a lot. I think the writing itself was very good. I'm gonna try not to spoil, but there's only 2 issues I have with the film. There's one issue where it's plot-wise, and something happens to where I can't, it'll spoil it, but I feel like if you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then there's one line that was clearly fan service. I mean, it was a cute little tongue-in-cheek callback, but it was a little weird. It stood out. It didn't make sense to be where it was, but it was fan service, so I was like, whatever. Now, why I think this movie particularly did so well was this goes back to the original Alien recipe. The original recipe for all the Alien movies, the classics. This movie, Alien Romulus, goes back to the original formula of it just being a sci-fi horror movie where you are in a spaceship trapped with an alien and it's a killing machine. It will stop at nothing to get you, and it seems like you can't beat it. That's why Alien was so good. It seemed inevitable. It seemed the alien will win. It's just how will they win. And when I say they went old school, I mean they went old school as in the technology was similar to the ones in the original Aliens. Very good. I like how they did that. The set was very reminiscent. All the surroundings, the sound from the gun firing, from one of the guns that fires in the movie, all of the sound sounds like it's from the original Alien movies, and I really liked that. The sound effects were good, and the special effects, I think the practical effects definitely helped them out a lot. I think that practical is just always the way to go if you can do it, and they nailed it, and it definitely helped this movie. The CGI was also pretty good. I mean, I didn't have any issues. There's only one big glaring issue, and you'll get what I mean when you watch it, but it was kind of bad, but I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It's a spoiler. I don't wanna spoil it for you. This is a spoiler-free review. Now, Benjamin Wallfisch was the producer of the soundtrack in this film, and I think it was great. Just like other things like they tried to do and go back on the original Alien movies, the soundtrack it sounded like it came from an original Alien movie too, for the most part. And some of the music and stuff they experimented with a little bit, and I liked it. Now, I'm a big Alien dork. I stood by it during Prometheus, which I liked. I actually liked Prometheus, and Alien Covenant, which I also didn't mind, but I get the criticism for that one. Now, I'm gonna try to put my biases aside and see if I can't review this appropriately without having my affection for the Alien franchise. I think this movie is an 8 out of 10. I definitely think you should see it. I definitely recommend it. Even if you're not an Alien franchise fan, even if you haven't seen a single Alien movie. Obviously, maybe want to like horror movies in order to see this, but I would definitely recommend it. Once again, I give it an 8 out of 10. Most of the time, movies are 5-star reviews. I don't care. 8 out of 10. That's what I give it. That's how I can accurately grade it for you. It's an 8 out of 10. That movie was scary, but not as scary as seeing someone in a Saints jersey.
Go Saints.
And I would rate this Mr. Cast an 11 out of 10.